growing up with my family, the normal experience for us, the expectation, what we did every day for the most part, was to eat a family meal together, and that would be dinner time. So, especially during the week, my dad would get home from work, normally about 6 o'clock or 6:30 the latest, depending upon traffic. We would sit down and eat. My sisters and I would do our homework before that. Then when we come home, then we would eat. That was just what we did. There wasn't any negotiation. Are we getting together tonight to eat? That's what we do. And then after we ate, then we would go to soccer practice, basketball, baseball, cheerleading. My sisters did the cheerleading. But yeah, so that was just the norm. And when I talked to my parents recently about that, they said, well, yeah, that was what everybody else did for the most part. You ate together, and then they had the practices for the sports. Not sure if that totally happens today. I think the sports have crept in a little bit earlier now, so it can be a little hard to get together as a family. But there were benefits getting together as a family. We would find out what was happening during the day. School, what happened at school? They tried to bring stuff out of us. What happened at school that day? Why did we seem a little down? Work. Dad would talk about work. Mom would talk about work. So that was the normal experience. Now, does that mean that it was all hunky-dory, that we were all, very happy to be in each other's presence? Sometimes it was a little difficult. Sometimes I was even sent to my room. I know it's hard to believe, but I was sent to my room sometimes. And sometimes we get in arguments. But around the dinner table, in many ways, is where we learn how to interact with each other, how to be respectful to our mom, to our dad, not talk back, how to be respectful to each other, the siblings, how to eat our vegetables, yeah, or how to hide our vegetables under the plate. No, but, yeah, and that's when I was sent to my room. All right, but so different life skills we learned really around that dinner table. On Sunday, we didn't have our games until after we went to Mass. That was the norm. Today, not so much. But although society may be a little bit different today, the need to spend time with the family is not different. There's still that need. We have to spend that time with each other. So, we even hear from studies, Columbia University, Georgetown University, come up with recent studies showing what? That when a family eats together, they're more likely to be a healthier family. More likely they are to stay together. Less likely the kids are to be addicted to different drugs or alcohol or different situations when they spend time with the family. The Georgetown study said that for those who go to weekly Mass, for the most part, they eat a meal every night together 58% of the time. To have a family activity in addition to that meal, one time during the week, a family activity one time during the week outside the meal, 74%. Those who rarely went to Mass, 43% ate a meal together every night. Only 45% had a family activity outside of that meal. So there's a correlation here, right? The more that we make time for God and for each other, that's going to impact our family life. The less time we make for each other and for God, the more likely we're going to have some issues in our life. Issues will always be there, but we'll receive more strength from God. There is that importance of the family meal. The family, as you've heard the phrase, a family that prays together stays together. That's true. It's important to pray together as a family. But it's also true that the family that eats together stays together. We have the World Day of Families that's coming up in September around 26th in Philadelphia, that great city. And so it's going to be a great opportunity for us as families to take a look at our families again. Where are we at? Because society isn't going to help you. Your coaches are not going to help you for the most part. Some coaches will, but other coaches, they just want your time. This is our time of practice. Don't give me excuses. You have to be here. That you have to be with your family. What's that about? Your friends won't take excuses from you. Other people won't take excuses. You're going to have to make the time to say, no, we're having our family time tonight. Even if it may be some arguments, at least you're communicating with each other, working through that. We hear from the first reading, Elijah reminded about the need for food. Elijah needed food. He was a day's journey into the desert, and he had enough, even after one day. This is enough, Lord, take my life. I'm done. I'm done. So he went to sleep. But then what happened? Somebody from God's family touched him, told him to get up. An angel, part of God's family. Get up and eat. And there was hearth cake there and a jug of water. Now it says he ate and drank, but he laid back down again. And then an angel came again and said, get up and eat, else the journey will be too long for you. Now that's interesting. Why a second time? What's the meaning of that? I think it's because the Lord wants to remind us that it's not just a one-time deal, you know? Like, okay, I'll just go to church once in a while. That should be all right. We'll get together as a family once in a while, but, you know, other than that, you know, we can't do it. We have to keep on doing it. To spend time together with the family. To make that time, to spend time with our parish family. You know? This is our family too. You know, sometimes we feel like, well, I don't have the best family life, Father, and that's nice that you had good family life, but mine's not the best right now. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you're experiencing those struggles. But I know this, that the Lord never abandons us. You know, He's always with us, even in the midst of the struggles, even if we're not feeling it with our family right now. We have our parish family. We may think, well, that's not the same. I don't know the majority of people here, Father. Haven't even talked to them. I have no clue who that person is, a couple rows in front of me. Never seen him before. In fact, you know, it's why I hear people tell me a lot, Father, I didn't go to Mass because I felt awkward going to Mass without a family, without my family members, just going by myself, just in the pew by myself. I couldn't do that. Why do we feel awkward? Because we don't feel like this is our family, you know? If we felt like this is our family, if we felt the welcome, the warmth, then that wouldn't be an issue for us. Of course, the ideal is always to go with our family if we can. But sometimes because of schedules or whatever, we can't. But we should still come to our parish family. Come to God. Receive Him in the Eucharist. Receive His Word. We hear in the Gospel, Jesus going deeper. And now saying, I am the bread that came down from heaven. And the Jews murmured about Jesus because of this. How can you say you are the bread come down from heaven? We know where you come from. We know who your parents are, your family. How can you say that you've come down from heaven? That's impossible. But Jesus goes even more. And eventually says, as you see on the screens, I am the living bread that came down from heaven. Whoever eats this bread will live forever. And the bread that I will give is my flesh for the life of the world. We'll get more deeply into that over the next couple weeks. What he meant by that, we know that he meant the Eucharist in the end. But that caused controversy, difficulties for him. What do we do when difficulties arise in our life, in our family life? We'll talk about that, especially over the next couple weeks. But as for now, this past week, I asked you to come to Jesus more. Spend some time with Jesus this past week. Maybe reading some scripture, come into adoration, listen to some praise and worship music, spend some time with the poor. Were you able to do that this week? To spend some more time with Jesus? Maybe this is the first time you remember, but oh yeah, that's right. I'm supposed to do that. But life happens, right? Nobody is going to make that time for you, just like nobody else is going to force you to come together as a family. You're going to have to make the decision. as a family to do that. No one's going to force you to pray. God's not even going to force you to pray to him. He wants it to come from your heart. Otherwise, there's going to be resentment, right? We'll resent God because that's not true love. But the Lord wants us to come to him, to spend time with him. How can we believe in him? To believe that he is a living bread come down from heaven, that this bread that he has given to us is his flesh, the Eucharist, his body and blood. Under the appearance, it still tastes like bread and wine, but in reality, it's his body and blood. The only way that comes to my mind that we can believe that more is through family. That's how it happened with me. It was through the faith of my parents that my sisters and I grew up in the faith and we still go to church. You know, if I'm not praying, if I'm not spending time with Jesus, I won't be a priest forever on this earth. What will keep me in a priesthood if I stop believing, if I stop praying? I need to pray. We all need to pray. If we want to believe, we got to pray. We got to spend time with Jesus. We got to spend time with each other through the family. When we come together as a family, then we'll see that we'll believe more, that we'll recognize the miracles more in our life. There's a proverb from Ghana that states, "The ruin of a nation begins in the homes of its people." I'll state that again. The ruin of a nation begins in the homes of its people. That's true. The reverse is also true. The success of a nation begins in the homes of its people. We will continue to grow as a nation. We'll come back to God if we're making that effort as a family, if we're trying. The Lord will bless us. So this week, decide, make the decision. How are you going to spend time together as a family? You say, "Well, Father, it's too tough right now." Are you asking us to do something which we're beyond that? It's too late. It's too late for us. Never too late. Never too late. Try it. At least once during the week. Start from there. Start from there. What days are going to be? How are you going to rearrange your schedules? Same with spending time with God with Mass. Every Sunday or every Saturday night. Without no more excuses. No more excuses that we have all these things to do. Let's arrange our schedules around God instead of God around our schedules. Let's arrange our schedules around our family instead of our family around our schedules. Let's ask the Lord for the courage to do that this morning. Through the bread of life, He's going to give to us a few moments. Jesus, thank you for this bread. Give us strength through this bread so that we may come together as a family and as a parish family.